Welcome to the English audiobook. Have you ever sat alone and wondered why we are really living? Every morning we wake up, we run, we chase something, sometimes happiness, sometimes relationships, sometimes money, and sometimes a dream that was never truly ours. Yet a strange emptiness quietly sits in a corner of the heart every time. Why? Why do all the answers in this world feel so hollow? Why do even books, gurus, and religious teachings fail to bring peace? Amid such questions, one name emerges: Jiddu Krishnamurti, a man who worshipped no institution, accepted no ideology as the ultimate truth, and sought no followers. Yet every word he spoke touches the heart directly. His language had no show, no stories of miracles, only a sharp but crystal clear truth. He does not show you a path, instead, he helps you remove the blindfold from your own eyes so you can see and understand for yourself. His thoughts, his words, even his silence create a deep movement within a person. Today, when the world is more confused than ever, his teachings feel more relevant than before. So let us begin a journey, not outward, but inward. A search that begins not by questioning others, but by questioning yourself. Jiddu Krishnamurti was not an ordinary man. He was neither a monk nor a preacher of any sect. He had no miraculous powers, nor any large organization to spread his name. Yet his voice was so genuine that people listened to him for years, simply because he asked them to think for themselves. Born in 1995 in a small town in Andhra Pradesh, he was considered dull-minded in childhood. But perhaps that emptiness, that questioning mind, took him where very few reach. At the age of 14, the Theosophical Society declared him a world teacher. The whole world was ready to accept him as a divine messenger, but he rejected everything. He said truth does not belong to any organization, book, or person. He challenged every ideology and every form of authority. He did not want you to follow him, he wanted you to see, think, and understand on your own. His ideas are not like a syllabus, they come like a shock that shakes your thinking. Whether it is freedom from the known or the first and last freedom, every line feels like it is removing a curtain from your eyes. His greatest strength was this: he did not give you answers, he gave you the ability to see. Now let us understand his 10 most powerful and life-changing lessons. Lesson 1. The path to truth is within you. Have you ever asked yourself, what is truth? Not the truth shown on TV, not what is written in religious books, and not what any guru explains from a stage. Jiddu Krishnamurti repeatedly said that truth is not outside, it is within you. But most people are afraid of it. Facing your own truth is not easy. To open the layers of your mind, to see your weaknesses, your selfishness, your fears, your illusions, it takes great courage. He says, until you look within, you cannot truly understand anything outside, whether it is relationships, society, or the world. Think, how many times have you ignored your inner voice just because someone outside said something else? Maybe you chose a career that was not yours, stayed in a relationship that was not true, or followed a dream that belonged to someone else. We walk on paths made by others because they feel safer. But is that path yours? Have you ever asked yourself, who are you? What do you want? And why are you living? Krishnamurti gives you these questions, not answers. Because no one else can tell you your truth, you must find it yourself. When you honestly look within, you find a deep silence, without noise, without fear. That truth beyond words is your real freedom. Lesson 2. Fear is your greatest enemy. Have you ever noticed that almost every decision we make is filled with fear? We do not leave a job because we are afraid of what will happen next. We stay in relationships because we fear being alone. We do not speak our truth because we worry about what people will think. Jiddu Krishnamurti said that fear is not an external force, it is an illusion created by our own mind. Until you recognize this illusion, you remain trapped in it. He once said that fear is always connected to the past or the future. Either you worry that something might go wrong, or you are afraid of reliving an old pain. Living in fear is like punishing yourself all the time. In his book On Fear, he shared a story. A man was wandering in a forest and suddenly saw a lion. Terrified, he started running, sweating, and trying to save his life. But after some distance, he realized there was no lion at all. It was only his mind that had turned a shadow into reality. This story applies to all of us. We keep running from our fears without even checking if they are real. We are afraid of the ghosts created by our own mind, and then we make decisions to avoid them, decisions that take away our freedom. Krishnamurti says there is only one way to end fear. Observe it completely, without running away. When you do not fight fear but watch it carefully, it disappears on its own. Living without fear is not an imagination. It can be a reality if you have the courage to face it. And when you begin to recognize your fears one by one, a new strength arises within you, a strength that gives you the freedom to live fully. That freedom is real freedom. Lesson 3. To understand life, let go of time. We often say, not now, later, or one day I will change, or from tomorrow everything will be fine. This is where Krishnamurti raises a deep question. He says that time, as we understand it, is an illusion. We always think that tomorrow we will become better, wiser, or happier. But real change never happens tomorrow. It either happens now or never. Krishnamurti explained that we live under the weight of our memories, experiences, and thoughts. We look at everything new through the lens of the past. He once gave the example of a tree. A tree changes every moment. Its branches move, leaves fall, colors shift, but we simply call it a tree and move on. We do not stop to see that it is new every moment. Life is the same. It is changing every moment, but we see it through old experiences and say nothing has changed. If you observe each day, each moment, as if you have never seen it before, life begins to feel extraordinary. But for this, you must drop the idea that change takes time. Krishnamurti breaks this illusion. He says real observation happens only when you are fully aware in the present moment. Can you live this moment completely, without the worry of tomorrow and without the burden of the past? Can you change yourself completely today? He says yes, you can, if you can see yourself clearly, without excuses. That is the power of the present moment. It depends neither on time nor planning. This is the beginning of true transformation. Lesson 4. Love means freedom. What we have learned about love since childhood is often a cinematic image, where one cannot live without the other, where jealousy is seen as love, and where possession is considered proof. But Krishnamurti saw love very differently. For him, love meant freedom, without conditions, without selfishness, and without expectations. He said love is not love if you try to possess someone. In his book on love and loneliness, he reveals a side of relationships that we often ignore: control. He once shared a story of a couple. The husband said he loved his wife deeply, but he always needed to know where she was, what she was doing, and who she was talking to. Slowly, the relationship became a cage for the wife. Love turned into a burden. Krishnamurti said, if you cannot give complete freedom to someone, you do not truly love them. You want something from them. This may sound harsh, but it holds a deep truth. When love becomes a burden, it slowly suffocates. Often we do not understand whether we love someone or simply need them. Need makes us insecure, while love gives both people an open sky. Krishnamurti says true love never creates fear, it ends fear. It does not try to change the other person, it simply accepts them as they are. So the question arises, are we able to give this freedom in our relationships? Are we allowing our partner, children, and friends to breathe freely, or are we unknowingly binding them with the chains of our expectations? Jiddu Krishnamurti holds up a mirror to us. If you truly care for someone, give them the complete freedom to be themselves. That is real love. Lesson 5. Break free from the slavery of society. Whatever we do, say, or think, somewhere it carries the shadow of society. Good or bad, right or wrong, worthy or unworthy, these standards are inherited by us without questioning or understanding. Krishnamurti considered this social structure a form of mental slavery. He said that until you question and break away from the rules created by society, you cannot become the master of your own life. In his book, Freedom from the Known, he breaks down the walls that have confined us for years: religion, caste, morality, traditions. Once, a child asked him in a school, "Sir, how can I become a good person?" Normally, we would say, speak the truth, work hard, respect elders, but his answer was surprising. He said, first understand why you want to become a good person. Is it your own discovery or a demand of society? The depth of this question is powerful. Do we really want to become who we are or who we are told to be? Krishnamurti says every definition created by society is based on past experiences. It does not want something new, it wants stability. But life is not stable. It changes every moment. If you keep living in fear of society, you will never meet your true self. Think, have you ever stopped yourself from making a decision because of what people will say? Have you ever done something just because it is considered right, not because it felt right to you? If yes, you are not alone. We are all part of this social machinery in some way. But Krishnamurti challenges us. Do you have the courage to think, understand, and then act on what truly feels right, no matter what society says? His thinking does not just raise questions, it opens a new path, a path that comes from understanding, not fear, and leads to real freedom. Lesson 7. Education means knowing yourself. In our society, education usually means getting good marks, earning degrees, and securing a stable job. But Jiddu Krishnamurti completely rejected this idea. For him, the real purpose of education was to understand yourself. In his book, Education and the Significance of Life, he said that if you do not understand yourself, then no matter how many books you read or degrees you earn, you remain incomplete. He repeatedly said that a school should not just be a place for academic learning, but a place where you think for yourself and get to know yourself. A place where a child learns to question himself. Once, Jiddu Krishnamurti visited a school where mathematics, science, and history were taught very well, but he noticed that no child was asking himself what he feels, why he is afraid, or what he truly wants. He shared a story of a boy who was always immersed in books. He knew the answer to every question, but when he was asked, "Are you happy?" he became silent. Krishnamurti said that an education which does not teach you about yourself is incomplete. Today we see many young people filled with degrees, yet when they sit alone, they feel lost. They do not know who they are, what they want, or why they feel disturbed. He says real education is that which teaches you to look within, what fear is, why anger arises, and what love truly means. So the question is, are we moving towards such education? Are our children becoming machines or thoughtful human beings? Have you ever asked your education, what is it teaching me about myself? If not, perhaps this is the time to search for that education which connects you not only to the outer world, but also to your inner world. Lesson 8. Change means now, here. Most of us talk about change, but we keep postponing it. We say, from tomorrow I will control my anger. Next month I will fix my life. One day I will do something different. But Jiddu Krishnamurti calls this an illusion. According to him, real change does not happen tomorrow, nor does it come from any book or guru. If change is real, it must happen now, in this very moment. In his book, The First and Last Freedom, he clearly says that change means recognizing the old patterns of the mind and dropping them instantly. He once shared a story of a man who thought every day that he would become better, but every day he repeated the same habits, the same fears, the same confusion. He believed that one day everything would change, but that day never came. Krishnamurti says we push change into the future because we are afraid of it. We are used to our old ways, even if they bring us pain, they feel safe. But change happens only when we have the courage to step out of that comfort. He says when you see your mistake clearly, honestly, without any excuse, that very seeing is change. So the question is, can you leave that habit right now which is troubling you? Can you say goodbye today to that fear, that delay, that wrong thinking that blocks your path? Because when you bring change into the present moment, life truly changes. Otherwise, you keep repeating the same old story with new characters and new clothes. Lesson 9. Loneliness is your strength. Loneliness is a word most people are afraid of. The moment we are alone, restlessness begins. We pick up our phone, call someone, or try to lose ourselves in a crowd. But Jiddu Krishnamurti saw loneliness very differently. For him, loneliness was not weakness, it was the deepest path to understanding yourself. In his book on love and loneliness, he writes that only when you are alone do you get the chance to meet yourself. He once told a story of a man who was always present at every party, always surrounded by people. But when he was alone, a strange restlessness took over him. He could not face himself. Krishnamurti says we fear loneliness because it shows us our fears, our weaknesses, and our unfulfilled desires, and we do not want to face them. But if understood deeply, loneliness can become the greatest teacher. When no one is around, you can observe your thoughts and feelings without any pretense. Only then can you understand what you truly feel and who you really are when no one is watching. Krishnamurti says if you keep running away from your loneliness, then you will always remain dependent on entertainment, on relationships, on validation. But if you try to understand it, it will give you freedom. A freedom that cannot be found in a crowd or in any relationship or achievement. So next time you feel alone, do not panic. Do not pick up your phone or turn on the TV. Just sit quietly for a while and observe what is happening within you. That restlessness is not your enemy, it is your mirror. And if you can truly look into that mirror, that loneliness will become your greatest strength. Lesson 10. Understand death to live life. We all want to hold on to life, but the moment death is mentioned, we become silent. Fear arises, discomfort appears, and we avoid the topic. But Jiddu Krishnamurti breaks this silence. He says that until you understand death, you will only live life partially. For him, death is not a terrifying end, but a deeply meaningful beginning. He said, death means letting go of everything that has become old so that something new can be born. Once he spoke about a flower. Every day some petals fall, and yet every morning it blooms again with new colors. The flower does not complain or feel afraid. It accepts change. Life is the same. But what do? We try to hold on to everything: relationships, ideas, identity, pain. We believe that if we let go, we will become incomplete. But the truth is, until we let go of the old, the new can never enter. He always asked, "Can you live each day as if it is your last?" Without any burden, without regret, fully present in the moment. Because death teaches you that nothing is permanent, so live every moment with full awareness. If you truly understand this, no relationship will feel like a burden, and no pain will last too long. You will wake up every morning as if seeing life for the first time, and sleep every night as if you have let go of everything completely. Krishnamurti says, death is not something to fear. It is an opportunity to understand yourself, the world, and life in a completely new way. Jiddu Krishnamurti was not an ordinary thinker. He was someone who broke every old pattern of thinking. He did not create any religion or sell any ideology. He simply said, "No one will show you the path. You have to create it yourself." There was a fire in his words that burns away fear, illusion, and stagnation. He said, "Until you question yourself honestly, you are not ready for any answer." So right now, pause for a moment. Take a breath and ask yourself, are you living a life that awakens you from within, or is it just a habit? Start letting go, little by little, of every old burden, every false identity, every fake relationship in your mind. When you meet yourself, only then will you be able to see the world clearly. If you have listened to this episode till here, this was not just information, it was an invitation to change. Now, one question for you. Which idea touched you the most? Which lesson woke you up? Write it in the comments and share if you are ready to see life from a new perspective. And if you felt that every moment of this journey touched your thinking, do not forget to subscribe to the English audiobook. Here, books are not just read, they are lived. We will meet again next time with another book, another idea, and a new fire.